Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a happy present bow. I think it turned out pretty awesome. Looks pretty close to what the little bows you put on presents looks like to me anyways. Band wise it's 238 for the entire thing, and then the face bands, however you want to do that. There are cheeks in there, but they're hard to see because the bow is red, but the cheeks and then the eyes, I use 7mm pony beads, but you can use 2 black bands, and then your mouth as well. But I think it's super cute, and if we have a happy bow, then there probably would be a happy present coming soon, maybe, to put this on. Who knows, maybe. But we'll get started. It's pretty simple, I think, hopefully. These pieces are on the outside are made separately, and they're made ahead of time. I've already made 4 of them, so I'll show you how to make the other 2 that you need, because they are different lengths. That's really the only difference. I'll show you how to make those, and then you can go back and make the other 2 that you need. So there's 3 short ones and then 3 that are longer. So also the face is put on the loom after we start, so we don't have to actually make any of this ahead of time, so that's cool too. So I'll put that there. So we have our loom, and for these we're going to have the right side, the little arrow side, towards us, actually, for the first time in a long time. And you'll want your bands that you're going to use for the bow, not broken ones though. And what we're going to do for the short ones, it's 2 bands, and we're going to go up the center 8 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So up 8, and then we're going to do the exact same thing over to the right. Up 8 again. And it's still 2 bands. Go on the loom. So like that. Then taking 1 band, we're going to connect these 2 together by going over 4 pins. So starting on the second pins up here, I'm going to put the band like that, right around those 4 pins. Just 1 band. Then we'll take our next band. You'll start overlapping the 2 that you ended on and go up to the next 2. Like that. Then go up, total of 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like that. And then 1 band. I'm going to put a cap band on this one. Let's put it on, wrap it around 1 time, and then I'm going to grab it and pull it over to the other side. So like this is the layout for the shorter version, or the shorter piece on the bow. So what we'll do is we'll turn this around, and then starting down in that cap band, you're just going to grab the bottom 2 bands, because we double banded, grab them, pull them up through the cap band, and bring them forward. And then when you do the next part, you have that band that we overlapped around the center. Make sure you go through that with your hook, and then grab those bands down there, pull them up and forward. So you want to get in there and then grab those bands, and you do that all the way up. And this is basically just a, what is it, a double single, something like that. I don't know how you'd describe it. I'm sure you've probably made something similar to it before. Just go all the way up to the end. Then come back, go back through that cap band, and do the same thing on the other side. Just grab those 2 bands, pull them up. And you're always just grabbing those bottom 2. go all the way to the end, like that. So we have 2 open points up here. You're going to take your hook, go through 1 and 2, and pull it off the loom. So that's basically the shorter version. So then you want to take 2 bands, pull them through what's on your hook, just straight through. Then if you put both ends back on your hook, and then you can store these way down here on the end. These 6 pins right here is where you can store all of them after you've made them. So you can just put them down here. Or if you have another loom or another pin bar, something like that. Here's my mini loom made out of all my broken pin bars. But you just want to do that. So you need 3 that are like what we just made. Now the other one, I know some of you are probably like, you don't even need to show me, but it's basically the exact same thing we did, only we're going up 10 instead of the 8. So it's the same thing. I need to make another one, so we're going to go through it anyways. So it's still 2 bands, and I'm just going to go up the center 10 spots. Six, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So up 10. Oh, up 10. And do the same thing right next to it. This part is double banded. I probably would have made the center with kind of the ribbon look to it too, but to get the face on there nicely, that's how I had to make it like this. So like that, we went up the 10. I'm not sure why my camera's so much closer that you can't see that whole loom, but so then now we're going to take the single band and we're going to go up making those little squares to connect the 2 pieces together. So starting on the second pins, make your square and then overlap into your next square. And this time we're going up 8 little squares. I almost had a panic moment there. I thought, did I turn my loom around? So used to using it the other way. So there's my 8 squares. And then again, we'll do the cap band on the end here. So just 1 band, wrap it around once, grab it, and stretch it over till they're connected. Then you'll turn it around, loom up the same way. You can do the left side or the middle, the left side now or the middle, doesn't matter, but just loom all the way to the end away from you. So 2 bands, pull them up. Make sure you go through our little square bands before you pull up the 2 on the bottom. Like you don't want to go here and then pull up the 2 bands. You want to go inside of that band. So far pretty simple, right? Hopefully, yeah. I think that if you're doing a lot of the things I make, this is probably a walk in the park and you're like, why are you showing me this? But we show everything, usually. Because I say that, then I'm going to tell you in a couple minutes to make the other couple pieces by yourself. I do recognize that this would be a pretty cute flower too. Maybe changing a couple things, so if you want to make it into a flower, you can do that, but that'd be cool. Just still tag me when you do, so I can see what they look like. So yeah, I just put my hook in the end there, pulled it off. Sorry about that, I was spazzing for a second. Like that. So these are just a little bit longer than the other ones. And then again, you're going to take your hook, or take 2 bands, put them on your hook and pull them through and just fold them over on themselves and store them on the loom. So you'll need to make 2 more short ones, so you have 3 short ones, and then you'll need to make 2 more long ones, so you have 3 long ones. So you can pause the video, rewind it, and go back to look at how I did the layout again if you need to. And then once you've done that, come back to this point and we can start with the rest of it, which is pretty quick actually, because you've done the hard work once you do all the outside ribbon pieces. So, alright, so now we'll start on the center. So for making this, we're only working on 6 pins as we do this. The face is put on first. So we want to put our mouth on first. So just kind of any 6 pin area that you want to work on the center pin on the bottom, take your mouth band, put it on, wrap it around one time, and then slide it down. On these 2 pins we're going to put our cheeks on. So whatever color you want the cheeks to be, 1 band on each side. So you put this on, wrap it around once, and then you grab both bands and wrap them around again. It's a little tight this time, but just kind of take your time, maybe use your hook if you need to. But then right across from that on the other side you do the other cheek. So put the band on, twist it once, and then grab both bands and twist them again. And then push down. Like that. Now right here on these next pins up, if you are not going to use beads, if you're going to use the bands, you want to put the black bands onto the pin the same way that we did the cheeks. I'll put one on, but I am going to use the beads to put for this design. So for the eyes, 1 band, you put it on, wrap it around, grab both bands, wrap it around again. So put an eye on each side if you're going to use the bands, otherwise just wait for the beads. So once you have that, we're going to do a starburst here. So it's 2 bands, everything will be double banded from now on. We'll just go around from the center pin out to the 6 pins around. These are like Persian ocean bands, if you're interested in knowing. So like that. Then on the center pin here, you're going to use 2 bands and make a cap band. We'll wrap it around 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. So once you have that, you'll go in through that cap band. You'll find the top 2 bands wherever they are. Pull them up through the cap band and then back towards themselves. And you'll do that all the way around the 6 pins. Just grab the next 2 top bands, pull them back. These are kind of sticky bands, but I thought they might be kind of pretty with the shimmery effect to them. So like that. So what we want to do is we want to pull up our face bands. So you just go and grab your cheeks, kind of grab the whole thing, pull it up over the top of the pin into the center, like that. You grab your mouth band, pull that up over the top. Same with the other cheek. And I kind of try and make them look nice now because there isn't really a lot of room to adjust them later. And then of course if you have the eye bands, if you're using bands for this part, if you have those on there, flip those up and over too. I'm going to use the beads, so I need a little piece of craft wire. You can use string, thread, or floss, anything you can get into a V shape. You're going to take it and thread it up through the center of all 4 bands, pull it up, close it, put your little bead on top, and then take my bands off the pin, slide that bead down kind of close as I can to the center there, and then I'll grab my bands to kind of find the center while I'm still holding my little bead tool. Find my center and then put the bands back on the pin. And then slide out my tool. And I do that on the other side. I think it's a tradition at our house, and I'm sure like everybody else's house, that when you open presents, you have a bow on it, you take it off, and it ends up going on somebody's head somewhere. And it's great having the little kiddos because they're totally into having their heads covered with bows. But then of course I have to wear a couple too because it's awesome. So I like that. It's definitely easier to use bands when you're doing this, but I like how the beads look. Like so. So then once you have done that, we're going to do 2 rows all the way around, and that kind of gives the center a little bit of a pop to it. So 2 bands go around the outside of the starburst. This will be our first row. Like that. I think it was always kind of sad when you wanted to put the bows all over your head and then they wouldn't stick there, or when somebody took it off the package, they took off like just the bow and left the little paper cardboard sticker thing on the package, and you're like, no, there's nothing to glue it onto my head with. Alright, so that's the first row. We'll do the second row all the way around. Still 2 bands. Like that. Flip the bottom 4 all the way around. Push down. So now what we want to do is I'm just going to kind of pop the center up a little bit. It's not going to probably stay up, but just so it's not wedged down there. So what we're going to do is start by putting on our shorter ribbon pieces. So what I'll do is I'll take my hook, put them in through what we secured them on the loom with, and then starting you can kind of start wherever you want, but I started right here. So I'll put one end on here, and then the other end over here. Like that. And then I kind of turn this so that I can have my hook go in through the right side of the, I call it the petal, but the ribbon piece. And what you want to do is take your hook and thread it through the top 8 bands that the cap band goes through, like that. So here's the cap band, and then there's the 8 bands. So you want to get it all the way through there. Now, you can, if you want, leave the cap band in there because it is securing it, or you can cut it out because it isn't really necessary at this point. It's just we needed it to loom in the first place. So I'm going to cut mine out. You could hide it, I'm sure, and pull it underneath after you're done, but so once you have that, or just have your hook through those 8 pieces, take 2 bands, pull them through, and kind of hang on to all this stuff. So what we want to do is this side, the left side, is going to be attached straight down to the left side right here. So I'm going to hang on to it tight and just kind of twist it around, bring that left side down towards the left side, and then rotate, and then the right side is going to come up to the next pin. So it kind of looks like it's cupping that pin. like that. So we'll need another short one. So I'll turn it again. That one's going to go right here. Put that across. Sticky. So again, I'm going to turn it so that I can put my hook through the right side of the ribbon piece. Put my hook through those 8 bands that the cap band's through. I'm going to remove this. You can remove it after too, after you get it on the loom. If you want it off, you can take it off after. I'm just doing it now. And take 2 bands. Pull through what's on your hook, and then once again this left side comes straight down, just like straight down to the pin that it's on or above. So that goes there, and the end on your hook comes around to the next pin around the hexagon, like that. So we have one more short one to go. So this one can go in the next spot. Then once again, turn it, put my hook through. Cut out my cap band. Pull 2 bands through. And then put it on your loom. Bring it around. There we go. So it should look like this now. Then you can kind of push all of the petal, that's what they look like, ribbon pieces towards the center. And then you want to go around and flip the bottom 4 bands all the way around. Without knocking any off. I look like I knocked something off, but maybe I didn't. No. Push down. So I have it kind of all bunched up here in the center. So then we're ready to put on our second row with the longer pieces. So we'll start with this one. And it's basically the same process, or it is the same process as the row before. It's just that we're going to start over here on the left side. We started over here on the right side last time. So right here is where we'll start on the left. Like that. Turn your loom. Put your hook through. Take out the cap band if you wish. Pull through 2 bands. And then put it on the loom the same way. So the left side will come straight down onto its pin. And the one on your hook still will come around to the next pin over. So again, they kind of look like they're cupping the pins. Do the next one. Next spot up. Turn. Put your hook through. Cap band out, pull through 2 bands, and then attach it to the loom. Left side straight down onto itself. Right side to the next pin. Oops. Like that. And then one more ribbon piece to go. Put it in the next spot. Turn. Go through that top 8. Pull out the cap band if you want, and then pull through 2 bands. And then once again, left side comes straight down. And the right side goes on the next pin to close what we're working on. It's like that. Now if you get these all on and you're like, you have some that are flipped up funny, they should still be okay. It's just that it's turned wrong. You just want to make sure that when they look like that on next to the center. So once you're there, you kind of tuck those towards the middle. It's going to be squishy. Then you go and flip the bottom 4 once again. Just make sure you push those down. The ends are a little hard to get into, but not too bad. But every year I always make sure to have plenty of bows and ribbons on our presents. Plus there's the cats. Yeah, the cats. Putting those on the cats and watching them run around the house, trying to get them off. It's kind of funny. It's playtime. Alright, so once you have that, we're going to do a row all the way around with 2 bands. So you just kind of have to squish everything in out of the way to go around the outside edge. Like that, all the way around. Flip the bottom 4 again. And it's all squishy, but make sure to just push everything down once you've flipped it. It's definitely easier with the opaque bands, but because these are a little sticky. Jelly'd probably be good because they're kind of slippery. Or metallic. Ooh, that'd be pretty. So push all those down as far as they'll go. Then you want to go into the center again. And you want to find your face. Just grab that cap band in there and pull up on it. Just so it's not stuck around the pin. I just pulled on his mouth. No. Wrong one. There. Like that. It's going to be kind of goofy looking, but... So once you're here, we're ready to take it off of the loom. So starting wherever you want, just take your hook, put it in through the bands, slide them up, keep your hook close to your loom as you go around the 6 pins. Keep putting them on, kind of push the bow away from the pin that you're trying to get to. Be careful as you get to the last couple pins, particularly the last one, because the thing wants to turn on you. So there's my end, and then I have one more to go. Just be careful with this last one. And get them all on. So once you're here, you'll take 2 bands, pull them through everything. Make a slip knot. Pull tight. Then we'll hide our tail. Or you can leave it to hang on things. There isn't a whole lot of room to hide it because there isn't that much thickness to the middle, but so then you turn it over, adjust it, and my bands are sticky, so I have to kind of squish some, pull them out the way I want them to be. But it should have like a little bit of a bump to it. And then for the outside pieces, like right now, I mean, it looks like a gorgeous flower, I have to say, but that's not what we're going for right now. So what you want to do is you can take the, where we have them connected, you grab those 4 bands there and just kind of rotate them towards the center on all of them. Do these, and we'll come and do the bottom ones. Like that. So, happy bow. Looks pretty awesome to me. I hope that you agree. I think it's pretty close to what you have, especially the cheap bows, which means you can have more bows. Super cute. Look awesome. I hope that you like it. Maybe use it on a present for somebody or hang on to it, and we'll see about what else I can do in making some more Christmas stuff for everyone. But I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. If you make some of these, you can share them with me on my Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic, or on my Facebook page, which is feelinspiffy, or Crafting Fantastic. They both should finally. There's links underneath the video too. And then, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give my videos thumbs up. It helps other people find my channels and find the videos that they want to watch, which is awesome. So thank you guys, and I will have more for you soon.